Anec fam, my name is Daniel and I'm the beatboxer from AnecNote. And I think I've been beatboxing for about 6 to 7 years, like seriously or properly. But I think since I can remember, I've been putting on some beats and making up some stuff and listening to music. And so since then, I've sort of developed quite a bit of a repertoire. So I can do things like that kind of thing. But today, I think it would be a good idea to give a little introduction for those of you who have never really opened up your mouths to beatbox before. So we'll do a little short demonstration of how best to go about simply beatboxing. And then maybe next week we'll go into a more in-depth conversation with regards to different nuanced tricks and different splashes and fills and ways in which to really fill up your beatbox repertoire. Today, we're going to look at 3 basic beatbox sounds. And fortunately, these 3 sounds relate directly to the drum kit. So the first sound we're going to look at is the bass drum sound or the kick drum sound. You know that big drum in the middle that goes. That's the first one. Now, how do we make the sound? First thing, guys, make sure your lips are feeling supple and moisturized. I never go anywhere without my lip balm. Okay, but seriously, the first way to make this sound really good is to use your tummy or your diaphragm or your support, as the singers call it. What we want to do is use your tummy to blow that air through. And then what we're going to do is close our mouths, tighten the lips, have the pressure build, and then release once the air is on its way out. Want to try that? So you see, the more push, the more resonance and the more punch in the kick drum. The second sound we're going to look at is the hi-hat. For those of you who aren't drummers, those are the 2 cymbals that are on the left-hand side of your kit, where you sort of hit it with your right hand and it goes like tss, 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 or a short tss, 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 tss. This is a really easy sound to make. I always think of the letters T-S-I or T-S-E, or the famous African fly, the tsetse fly. If you can say tss, then you can make this sound. Once again, you're going to use your tummy to sort of push out some air, and you're going to have your tongue right behind your 2 front teeth, and there you have the tss, 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 tss sound. Now, the final sound we're going to look at is the snare drum. Now that's like, the military drum, the drum right in the middle that you're always hitting with your left hand. Now there are many ways to make this sound in contemporary beatboxing. People do the PF snare drum sound that goes pew, 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 pew. Other people do an outward K sound. It's like the where you're sort of blowing air out and you're saying the letter K. And the way I like to do it, and the way I'm going to teach you today, is what we call the inward K sound. Same story as saying a K, but this time you're going to be inhaling and not exhaling. So it sounds something like this. You think you can do that? See, a lot of people struggle with this one, but I promise you, just a few minutes of practicing and it will become more natural. Remember the K sound and breathing in. Now at first it might feel a little weird because you might get some saliva down the wrong pipe. Please be patient with yourself. I promise you the rewards are worth it. So there we have it. We have bass drum, we have the hi-hat, and then we have the inward K sound for the snare drum. Now that we have our 3 simple beats, the bass, the hi-hat, the snare, let's put them all together and make a simple rock beat. Now's a very good time to introduce the best friend of any percussionist, beatboxer, drummer, and that is the metronome. This metronome is going to help you keep time and make sure that you fit in the groove in a strict measure. because nobody likes a rusher or a dragger. All right, so I'm gonna get it onto 84. Let's feel that a bit. And what we're gonna do is the basic boots and cats. So you got the B, the K, and the tss. Can you try that? And a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now that we've got our simple beat going on, I think it's valuable that we talk about, let's call it a beatbox philosophy. Specifically for those of you who are looking to be in an a cappella band, like I am with AnecNote. I think there are 3 crucial elements to have at the back of your mind when you're trying to develop your beatboxing skill, especially in a band. And I think those 3 things are a sense of simplicity, consistency, and tastefulness. Now, in order to elaborate on this, I like to look at the metaphor of my 2 favorite drummers. Number 1, we have Buddy Rich, one of the most virtuistic jazz drummers of all time. This man had his own bands and could sort of command a whole performance by himself, really. And then you have Ringo Starr, who is probably my favorite out of the 2. He, if you don't know this, is from the Beatles. And now if we know the Beatles, they were a group that revolutionized music. But if you look at Ringo's playing, I think it was pretty simple, pretty tasteful, and very consistent. What I want to talk about is thinking about your beatboxing as though you're a drummer in a band. Like, you're not going to try and be too flashy when the performance is going on, because then that might take away from the actual music that the rest of the band's putting together. The same way, you want to be consistent in your grooves from performance to performance, from rehearsal to rehearsal, so that your band can trust this is how the groove's going to go. And then also the audience can sort of feel this is how we can groove and this is what we can feel. And a big part of consistency, obviously, is our metronome and staying with the sense of groove and time. And then the last thing of tastefulness. I believe this to be a sort of art, and this takes, years and intuition and experience. You can tell a good, tasteful beatboxer by the fact that they have been doing this a while and they can sort of feel innately or inherently, this is what needs to come out now. Tastefulness also means the beatboxer is not going to throw out every single bit of their repertoire in order to impress somebody in a 10-second segment. It's all about spacing things out and knowing when to be big, when to be small, but always, always thinking about the music and how you as a beatboxer can serve the music at hand. Well, there it is. Quick and simple beatboxing. You see, Anec fam, it is easier than it looks. We took 3 simple beats and made a beat. It'd be really cool if you could send us a Facebook message with a short clip of you trying out this rock beat, this boots and cats. Send it to us, and it'll be really cool to get into a conversation. I'd love to see your progress. Next time, we're going to take the same 3 simple sounds, the, and we're going to make more beats like a house beat, and we're going to try out a few different enhancements, those like fills and spills and funny sounds, and we're going to keep working on our beatboxing bit by bit. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's keep beatboxing. Thank you so much.
You gotta go and get angry at all of my honesty. You know I try, but I don't do too well with apologies. I hope I don't run out of time. Could someone call a referee? 'Cause I just need one more shot.